through lifestyle changes that are known to build synapses booster, the brain highway, nourish and grow its blood vessels, and promote the development of new neurons. Okay, that's it.
You go to the next page. What's next?
Bone. Brain-derived neuropeptide factor is a bit of an emerging rock star in the world of neuroticism. Okay, that's good enough. You don't want to go all the way through here.
You want me to read it? Is that enough? You wanted to start and I'll keep going?
All right, you go ahead.
So it says the BDNF
Uh-huh.
is emerging rock star. That's because though we've long known of its existence,
Mm-hmm.
in recent years it has become increasingly clear that BDNF, a protein created by neurons, plays a critical role in brain health and growth. For starters, BDNF is known to be a critical ingredient in neurogenesis in the hippocampus. As you'll recall, the hippocampus constantly creates new neurons, perhaps as a sort of backup plan to replace those that are lost.
That's right.
If the fledgling neurons are needed, they grow to maturity. If not, they're simply dissolved and dissipate.
That's right.
It is BDNF, though, that helps them grow. Think of it as a particularly effective fertilizer for the brain.
Fertilizer for the brain.
Yeah, BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor.
That's right.
Scientists are in the midst of discovering the many ways we influence our brain's levels of BDNF. But there's already clear, compelling evidence that exercise, come on, pedal the bike, exercise, for one, helps boost our levels of BDNF and promotes neurogenesis. Exercise.
Exercise.
The hippocampus isn't the only region that benefits from BDNF.
No, what else?
In the frontal lobes,
Frontal lobe.
the area of the brain responsible for abstract thinking
Abstract thinking.
and executive decision making.
Decision making.
BDNF helps neurons heal and repair in order to stay in peak condition.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Exercise, for one, helps boost our levels of BDNF. Come on, get pedaling. Come on.
Dependent.
Pedaling.
Pedaling.
Pedaling the bike. Exercise is good for BDNF.
BDNF.
That's good for the brain.
Good for the brain.
Healthy brain activity. Oh, wait. Healthy brain activity.
Healthy brain activity.
The concept behind healthy brain activity, an exciting emerging area of brain science, is simply that by training the brain to operate within an ideal frequency range,
Right.
we can actually change the structure and function of the brain and enhance its performance.
That's right. You can enhance that in performance.
To understand how it works, let me first give you a quick crash course in brain waves. The brain functions, as you know, by way of electrical signals.
Electrical signals.
Those signals in groups of neurons in turn produce waves that oscillate at varying frequencies.
Varying frequencies.
And just as an orchestra is made up of a variety of instruments, each playing its own part, groups of neurons with a similar firing frequency produce a recognizable song or pattern.
Right, exactly.
That song can be detected by sensors placed on the skull
Oh, in the skull.
using a technique called electroencephalography.
Yeah.
Electroencephalography.
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 Electroencephalography. Each pattern of EEG is associated with a certain state of mind or level of brain function.
Right.
For example, delta waves, the brain's slowest, indicate sluggish activity, are associated with sleep and not doing the bicycle. Come on, do the bicycle. Well, actually, they're associated with sleep. Theta waves, also on the slow side, indicate either drowsiness or abnormally slow brain activity in a disease process.
Brain activity. That's where it
That's
is.
theta.
Uh-huh.
As seen in patients with traumatic brain injury. Middle of the range alpha waves are associated with focus, calmness, and alertness, as well as creativity.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Beta waves, faster than alpha, occur during heightened alertness and critical problem solving, though excessive amounts of beta are associated with anxiety, insomnia, and other problems.
Other problems.
Given the complexity of the brain, it's no surprise that one part can be motoring along at one frequency, and while another can be recording a very different level of activity.
That's right. Two activities.
If you're solving a math problem, for example, your left parietal lobe will likely be active, emitting beta waves as you puzzle out an answer, while the part of your brain responsible for orientation, the right parietal lobe, might be emitting slower alpha waves.
Uh-huh.
That's perfectly normal.
That's normal.
But just as you'd be alarmed if your heart raced all the time, a brain that's weaving too high or too low without explanation is a sign that something's wrong.
Something what? Lacking?
Wrong, yes, lacking. Brain wave frequencies. The delta is from 1 to 3 hertz. The theta is from 4 to 7 hertz. The alpha is 8 to 12 hertz, and the beta greater than 12 hertz.
Uh-huh. Okay.
We've long used EEG to measure the brain activity in
Uh-huh.
epileptics. 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 Epileptics.
Epileptic.
Epileptics.
Uh-huh.
Epileptics. In stroke and coma patients, and for sleep studies. But in recent years, a new discipline called quantitative EEG or brain mapping has emerged. Several independent groups of experts in the field have put together normative data from thousands of healthy individuals as well as hundreds of patients with various brain conditions, such as ADHD,
I can see that.
autism,
Autism.
depression, anxiety, and OCD.
OCD.
In brain mapping, we use the available bank of normative data to look for signature patterns that tell us what may be going on in the brains of our patients.
Oh, good.
And we
Going
just
on
in the brain
of our patients.
patients. And we've discovered that we can tell quite a lot.
Huh?
And we've discovered we can tell quite a lot.
See quite a lot.
tell quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The normative data have clearly shown that depressed patients, for example, exhibit excessively slow theta activity on the left side of the brain compared to the right.
Mm-hmm.
A person
Left
with
side compared to the right.
is slow if they're depressed.
That's right.
A person with ADHD typically exhibits slow activity in both frontal lobes, while a person with anxiety might exhibit too much beta activity on the right side of the brain.
Right, the right side. That's the important one.
You have brain cells in a neighboring brain lobe. You have helper cells, blood vessels and fiber bundles,
That's right.
BDNF, synapses, brain cells in the hippocampus. Before brain boosting efforts, a low density of neurons, synapses, BDNF, and fiber bundles in a person whose life is full of brain shrinkers and lacks any brain boosters.
Uh-huh.
After brain boosting efforts,
Uh-huh.
a high density of neurons, synapses, BDNF, blood vessels, and fiber bundles in a person's whole whose life is full of brain growers and low in brain shrinkers.
Right. Right.
More BDNF, more helper cells, more blood vessels, more synapses, more neurons in the hippocampus.
That's right. Absolutely.